Hello. Okay, I'm doing the usual. I'm sure you think, does Bryce smoke 24/7? No. But I do often when I sit and have a chat. I have a fag and I have a Slurpee. Cheers. That's hot. Okay, so as usual, fresh out the shower, I always make a video. Not always make a video, do you know what I mean? I make a video when I'm out of the shower. Just simply because I know that I've got this time. You know, I can now sit down and chill and what have you. I'm not doing any art at the moment. I'm not on the laptop. We're not out, obviously, playing BALL or bimbling, or I'm not eating. I've got nothing to do. It's for me, it's quite a nice time actually. I go in the shower. I come out of the shower, and I've got like an hour before I decide really what we're going to be doing. So that is why I make a video at this particular time of the day, and why I have a fag during these videos, and why I have a Slurpee during these videos, because it just all comes in together and it just fits. Choking on my own spit. It's raining. Door's open. It's only spitting with rain. I'll keep my ear, half an ear on it, and then I might have to get up and shut the door. I've got the ability to choke on my own spit, to trip up my own feet. Hello. Hello, darling. You alright? You can say hello? Yeah? Okay, I'm going to tell these people about you. When I came back today, and this was regular for him, but now it's getting less and less, but when I came back today, somebody was howling. And I came back a slightly different way from the shower, and I saw him, ow, 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 he was going, ow, ow, I know. And I don't know why you do that, but well, I do, because you miss me. Yeah, I know. Right, I'm going to make a video, Bode. I know, I'm just making a video. Calm yourself down. I'm here and I'm fine. Bode, shh. Thank you. Okay. I'll try and keep this video under 10 minutes now, although I've been speaking for about 3 minutes. So, I want to speak about grief, so if it's not your thing, then move on and perhaps have another look another day. I'm going to try and just bring this all into one, really. This is on the back of obviously what has been going on just recently, particularly with a friend of mine called Mickey. And various comments that people have put, which I do appreciate, thank you very much. I've still got that spit in my throat, I think. Anyway, reading the comments, it seems that the grieving process lasts forever. Okay, this is me just thinking out aloud. And various people have said on the group and also in personal messages that my, whoever, mum, dad, sister, whatever, died X amount of years ago. I still think of them every single day, still miss them. I wish I could have done more, blah, blah, blah. So I think it's a grieving process, right? It's not a grieving program. What I hate, and I've even worked or been connected with this rubbish, is the 5-step grieving program. It doesn't exist. It does not exist. Don't believe it. We're all different. We all think and feel differently, and grief is a process. It's a journey. That's what it is, and you go on that journey forevermore. If you love that person, you're probably going to miss that person forevermore. Now, the way that I see grief is like being on a boat in the middle of the sea, and you look out and the sea is grief, really. And sometimes it's flat, it's calm, beautiful and sunny. Sometimes it's a bit choppy, a bit wavy, but every now and then you get a huge wave comes and crashes over the boat. And sometimes the The sky can be black, very dark, stormy, windy, cold. But other times it can be absolutely beautiful, and you just sat there in the calm, you got your hand dangling in this water, in this grief, and you feel lovely. Happy times, happy memories come to you. So that's how I quantify grief, that's how I look at grief really. I'm going to have to shut the door. And I think it's the same for everybody. So it's a process, it's a journey, it is not a 5-step program. Don't believe that bullshit, please. And these bloody idiots get paid to come up with all this malarkey. I have finished it. Everything is right. When it comes to grief, everything is right. Your thoughts, your feelings, whatever, everything is right, you know. The only thing I would say in this video, and there's the advice bit I suppose, if we're going to call it advice, is we can beat ourselves up. And we do, often. And I think probably many people go through this, right? They think about the last moments of that person who's no longer here, the last day or two, what they were like in hospital, what they said to us when they got ill. We remember bad times, you know, those sort of bad memories in hospital or hospice, or finding your loved one has passed away at home, or died in an accident, or hearing the news, or whatever, you know, and we beat ourselves up with many things. And I think one of the things is guilt. And I think we think, I wish I could have done more. I should have said this. I hope the person knew I felt this. Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I say this? And it goes on and on and on. You know, when my mum went, I thought, she saved up and she bought herself a cooker, you know, and a gas oven. And she bought the same one that she used all her life. And then she had to bend down and put a chicken in or some roast potatoes in and struggle to get back up. And I thought, why didn't we, her children, why didn't we get involved and get her one of these high-level things, you know, I don't know what they call them, but, you know, they come in a long line, don't they? And you can literally slide things in like that. There's no bending. Why didn't we do that? I feel kind of guilty over that. She bought that cooker a year before she died. And I don't know, it's a bit of a blur. Maybe she didn't ask, or she just, you know, ordered it online or something, I don't know. But, you know, it's a silly bit, isn't it? You can beat yourself over it, beat yourself up over it, and it goes on and on and on. But what's happening is it's just our thoughts, you know, that's all it is, obviously. And we can change our thoughts. So the way, or the point I'm getting to with me and my journey through grief is that I keep on thinking about my mum in hospital. I do, I keep on thinking about that. And it's so fresh and so, it hurts, you know. I was with her in her bungalow, her breathing went bad, I phoned the ambulance, and I saw her laying on that trolley bed thing in her lounge as they was wheeling her out, and she had one last look around her bungalow and was crying. It was awful. And the hospital is like a living nightmare for all of us. It was awful. She suffered greatly. And that's what I keep thinking about. So what I've tried to do now is to think, okay, yeah, that was that. However, and then we moved back a little bit. And I remember doing the garden. We put animals in our garden, you know, these concrete animals and ornaments, or whatever you want to call them, and fake grass, you know, astroturf and things like that. And I remember how happy she was with it. And then I go back a little bit more and I think about other things, you know, and then I go back a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. And then I can go back, you know, and I can remember being a child on holiday with my mum. Or, well, we didn't have a holiday, but it was a day trip. I thought it was a holiday, but whatever. So I can remember my mum in the speedboat. I can remember my mum on the sand. I can even remember my mum getting from a red bag tin foil, and she undone the tin foil, and in there was chicken sandwiches that she'd done for us. Because we was always skint, we couldn't afford to buy anything from the seaside. And then a bottle of orange came out of this bag as well. And my mum sat there eating a sandwich, and and then a little bag of crisps as well came out of this. It was a red bag with white flowers on. It's so vivid. It's a lovely memory really, because I remember my mum looking happy. A wrinkly face changed on that day, and she just seemed happy. We were happy, so my mum was happy, and I think that's what mums are really. So we have a choice whether to hold on to this guilt, whether to hold on to this sort of beat you up attitude, which is, for instance, that was then, the big smiley face and the chicken sandwiches. But a thing that keeps coming into my mind is my mum at the end, last few months, called me stupid, idiot several times, ridiculous, you don't know what you're on about, things like that. And we've got to remember that when we get to that stage, we lose part of ourselves because we're actually moving on. So we don't mean those things, and I think there's a chemical sort of imbalance that happens that can make you a bit hateful, make you a bit spiteful, a bit nasty. But don't forget, that person is going through fear. They know what's coming. Depression. They're full of worry, terrified perhaps, So we have to allow them that. And those words, idiot, stupid, they were just noises coming from my mum's mouth, How many times prior to that in my life did she say, I love you, or did she say, I'm proud of you, or thank you, or whatever, How many times did I make my mum happy buying her little gifts and things like that? So again, it's a choice of how we think about it. You can say, okay, there is no choice. Grief comes to you, bang, and you've got all these thoughts of your loved one dying in hospital. Yeah, that's true to an extent, but it's up to you where your choice part comes in is, do you now need to hold on to this thought? Or can you say, yeah, okay, I've thought about that time and time again. Where's it got me? Nowhere. So let's put that thought aside and let's move back slightly and just think about our loved one 6 months ago, a year ago, 20 years ago. So that's where the choice comes in. But yeah, it really is. Grief is it's a real journey. With my mum, it's been getting on now 2.5, 3 years, or it will be 3 years in Feb. And I miss her every single day. I think about her a lot, every single day. Sometimes it's odd, isn't it? Sometimes like 20, 30, 40, 100 times a day maybe. And sometimes it's once or twice a day. But I do think about my mum a lot. And I love her, and I wish she was here, and all the rest of it. But we live in the real world, and we understand, that nothing lasts forever. So the process and the journey that I'm on. When I was speaking to somebody recently, and he said my mum died 22 years ago. He said, and I think about her every single day. That kind of made me think, wow. Because I've been thinking about my mum every single day for about 2.5 towards 3 years. And I thought, when will that change? When will it become weekly that I think about my mum, and then perhaps monthly? By the sounds of it, it's never going to happen. So if I'm going to think about my mum a lot, then I'm going to think about my mum in happy times. That's where the choice part comes in. So when these bad times, the grief is bad, and you start thinking about awful things, try and think, okay, but, because there's always a but think about mum, dad, brother, sister, whoever is passed a little while ago, or 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Think about them when they was a child, whatever. And it just seems easier. I sometimes sit here and I think about my mum and I end up smiling. I can remember the things she said and the things she wore and what she did and blah blah blah. And they're the happy thoughts that I want to remember. I don't particularly want to remember the last year. I don't want to remember certainly the last 5 days. I certainly don't want to remember the last 12 hours. But they are all there and they will never fade away. But the choice is whether I hang on to those thoughts or whether I change my thoughts and think about something else. So that might have helped and I might have made some sense. I might be talking bollocks. Whatever, I'm just thinking out loud. Okay, I'm going to enjoy my fag and enjoy my Slurpee and listen to the rain. Take care everybody. Thank you for being here. Be well.